What began as an ordinary day of helping his mother move into her new home took a devastating turn when a verbal disagreement with his younger brother, Rodney Curley Jr., escalated into fatal violence. According to Tymer's mother, Pinky Hale, she was inside the house holding her young granddaughter when the argument broke out between the two brothers. What initially seemed like a minor disagreement quickly escalated when Rodney Curley Jr., then 19 years old, pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at Tymer. Witnesses reported that after the first shot, Tymer stood in shock and disbelief, unable to comprehend that his own brother had shot him. Despite his pleas for his life, Rodney continued to fire, ultimately standing over his older brother and shooting him several more times. Cleveland police officers responded to the 500 block of East.
You should have taught him, man. This nigga shot his brother 16 times in front of their own mother as the brother begged for his life. Let's get into it.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.
Can't cut.
As you fade away.
The tears just won't stop.
I'm never gonna be the same without him.
A mother grieving the loss of her son, a son she watched take his last breath. Tymer Dial shot and killed outside his mom's house on East 127th Street. What's worse, Pinky Hale says it was another son that pulled the trigger.
This is the story of Tymer Dial, a 23-year-old loving father of a 1-year-old daughter. Tymer's life was tragically cut short in a way no one could have imagined. During an argument with his 19-year-old younger brother, Rodney Curley Jr., he would be shot 16 times while pleading for his life. This shocking act of violence occurred.
And first off, there's nothing you can even say at the court. It's like, oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, you know, it was a mistake. Bro, 16 shots is not a mistake, my nigga. Do your homework. 16 shots? 16? That's not a mistake, bro. Nigga, you overdid it. You know what I'm saying?
Right in front of their mother and would devastate this close-knit family. What could drive a brother to turn against his own flesh and blood? What led to the horrifying moment when their sibling bond was shattered forever? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe. Neighborhoods. Nestled along the shores of Lake Erie, Cleveland boasts a resilient community that takes pride in its hardworking people and deep family values. However, beneath the city's industrial charm and bustling streets, a tragic event unfolded that left an unfillable void in the hearts of many. At the center of this story is Tymer Hale Dial, a 23-year-old man whose infectious smile and loving personality touched everyone he met. Born on January 4, 2000, Tymer was the beloved son of Pinky Hale and Mark Dial. He grew up surrounded by family, including his siblings, with whom he shared a deep bond, one that, tragically, would be broken in the most unimaginable way. Tymer was more than just a son and brother. He was a devoted father to his beautiful 1-year-old daughter, whom he adored and cherished deeply. His life revolved around providing for her and being a constant presence in her life. Described by his family as the heart of their home, Tymer had a special way of bringing people together. His father likened him to the beloved character from the show Everybody Loves Raymond, emphasizing how his warm and welcoming nature made him a favorite among friends and family. Professionally, Tymer worked as a staff member at a local school. Known for his kindness, dedication, and unwavering positivity, he was a valued colleague to those he worked with. Beyond his work, Tymer was a true family man. Whether helping his mother move into a new home or spending time with his daughter and girlfriend, he was always there when needed. He had a gentle soul, a loving heart, and an undeniable presence that made every room he entered brighter. Tymer Hale Dial shared a deeply personal and lifelong connection with his younger brother, Rodney Curley Jr., the individual responsible for his tragic death. As siblings, they grew up together in Cleveland, Ohio, experiencing the joys and challenges that come with brotherhood. Tymer, as the older sibling, often took on a protective and guiding role in Rodney's life. Family members recall how he was always looking out for his younger brother, offering advice, encouragement, and unwavering support. Like many siblings, they had their fair share of conflicts, although those moments were often short-lived and resolved with understanding. But no one could have ever imagined that the lives of these loving siblings would take such a tragic turn. The tragic death of Iamqual Dial occurred on October 3, 2023, outside his mother's home on East 127th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. What began as an ordinary day of helping his mother move into her new home took a devastating turn when a verbal disagreement with his younger brother, Rodney Curley Jr., escalated into fatal violence. According to Timer's mother, Pinky Hale, she was inside the house holding her young granddaughter when the argument broke out between the two brothers. What initially seemed like a minor disagreement quickly escalated when Rodney Curley Jr., then 19 years old, pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at Timer. Witnesses reported that after the first shot, Timer stood in shock and disbelief, unable to comprehend that his own brother had shot him. Despite his pleas for his life, Rodney continued to fire, ultimately standing over his older brother and shooting him several more times. Cleveland police officers responded to the 500 block of East 127th Street, where they found 23-year-old Iamqual Dial lying on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds to his upper back and head. Despite the efforts of first responders, Timer succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Following the tragic event, Cleveland police launched an investigation, and on October 4, 2023, a warrant was issued for Rodney Curley Jr.'s arrest on charges of homicide, involuntary manslaughter, felonious assault, and aggravated menacing. Despite law enforcement's efforts, Curley initially evaded capture.
I should grab the shooter, or if I should grab the baby, or if I should grab Timer. But I was willing to die.
A mother willing to give up her own life to save her son. A family torn apart. Two brothers get into a fight. Suddenly one pulls a gun and kills the other. Noel Williams sat down with the family as they try to put into words exactly what they're going through.
The tears just won't stop.
I'm never gonna be the same without him.
A mother grieving the loss of her son, a son she watched take his last breath. Iamqual Dial shot and killed outside his mom's house on East 127th Street. What's worse, Pinky Hale says it was another son that pulled the trigger. She says she was moving into her new home. Timer, along with her 19-year-old son, were there to help. As she was holding her young granddaughter in her arms, she says the brothers started arguing.
They was having a disagreement, not loud or fighting or nothing, and his brother shot him. In my mind,
So you shoot your brother over a small disagreement? What? I'm thinking the argument is probably, oh, you F my baby mama or you F my girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's that kind of argument. You telling me this nigga died over a small argument, bro? And the simple fact that that was his brother that did that?
thought,
I don't even know what to say.
would he shoot the baby? Would he shoot me?
I spoke to Cleveland police about the shooting, but they would only say it was an ongoing investigation. As Hale tries to piece together what happened, she relives that moment on a daily basis.
He begged him to stop. He begged him over and over again, and he just stood over him and shot him some more.
Timer's family tells me the 23-year-old was a true family man to his parents, siblings, and beautiful 1-year-old daughter.
Man, like, you know, the show Raymond, everybody loved Raymond. That's him. Everybody loved him.
Hale says she hasn't seen or talked to her 19-year-old son since the shooting a week ago. She has only one thing to say to him.
Turn yourself in. Don't hurt anybody else. Don't hurt himself in the process.
As this family searches for justice, they hope the 19-year-old does the right thing.
For several weeks, Curley remained on the run, leading to increased efforts from law enforcement agencies. The Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force, along with the U.S. Marshals, took over the search. On November 16, 2023, after nearly 6 weeks of evading authorities, Curley was finally apprehended. Officers located him at a residence in the 1800 block of Reburn Road in Cleveland, where he was hiding in the basement. Initially unresponsive to commands, Curley ultimately surrendered when officers threatened to release a K-9 unit into the home. He was taken into custody without further incident. U.S. Marshal Pete Elliott later commended the swift actions of law enforcement, stating, "Another violent fugitive was taken off the streets today due to the efforts of the Cleveland Division of Police and our fugitive task force. Our officers worked diligently to apprehend this fugitive as quickly and safely as possible." Following his arrest, Rodney Curley Jr. was formally charged in Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas. The case proceeded through the judicial system, and after months of legal proceedings, Curley pleaded guilty to the charges of involuntary manslaughter, felonious assault, and aggravated menacing on April 24.
Bro, don't cry once you get in the courtroom, bro. I hate when people do that, bro. It's like, bro, you don't, bro. You not sorry for what you did, bro. You shot him 16 times. I understand if you shot him one time, even though that's still crazy at the end of the day, but you shot him one time and, you know, it was a mistake, but he ended up, you know, alive. You understand that? Okay, cool. But, dude, you shot him 16 times, bro, and that was your brother, and he was begging for you to stop it. I was in front of your mother, and I was in front of your goddamn nephew, bro, which was his goddamn daughter. Stay home,
2024. As part of a plea agreement, 3 additional charges were dismissed. During the court proceedings, family members and friends of Tamir Dial expressed their heartbreak and called for justice to be served.
A family torn apart as a man learns his punishment for killing his own brother, shooting him 16 times. Emotion spilling outside of the courtroom.
Exactly right. The families for each of the brothers fighting in the hallway seconds later. New at 6, Brittany Weir with what sparked screaming, yelling, and that near fight in the courthouse.
A fight broke out right after the sentencing for Rodney Curley. He is charged with killing his own brother. Both families screaming at each other in the hallway right outside the courtroom. The father of the victim upset because he wasn't present when the sentence was handed down.
You got my son killed! They killed my son!
Tamir Hale Dial's family is furious. They wanted justice for their loved one, but they never got the chance to tell a judge how Tamir's death will forever affect them.
My son had a father, and I'm here, and I was present. He's dead. He's not here.
20-year-old Rodney Curley convicted of murdering Tamir. The 2 men were half-brothers. Tamir's family tells me there was some sort of mix-up over the time of today's sentencing. After learning of this, Judge Margaret Russo pulled Tamir's family into the courtroom, apologizing for any confusion.
I never told anybody anywhere to tell anybody they couldn't come in. This is a public courtroom. You're all allowed in.
Raymond Curley was convicted of involuntary manslaughter along with other charges. The prosecution revealing that Raymond shot Tamir 16 times as he tried to run away.
Tamir made a statement to his brother, Mr. Curley, "You're not anything without your gun." And Rodney's response was, "I don't fight, I kill. I shoot to kill."
Rodney and Tamir's mother in tears as she took the stand, explaining how she lost both of her sons that day.
And I know he did what he did, and he ruined my life. And he took Tamir's life and he ruined his own life.
Rodney was sentenced to 23 years in prison. As part
Whoa. 23 years? For a first-degree murder? And an overkill? 23 years?
of a plea deal, the mother of both boys signed off on a lesser sentence. Normally, everyone, including the victim's family, needs to be aware of the plea deal. However, Tamir's father said he never knew.
She should have never been able to sign off on something when she was the main person, the reason why my son is dead.
The father of the victim handed the judge the letter that he never got to read in court, wondering if it would have made a difference.
On April 30, 2024, Judge Margaret Russo sentenced Rodney Curley Jr. to 23 years in prison for the fatal shooting of his brother. During the sentencing, Tamir's parents, including his devastated mother Pinky Hale, addressed the court, expressing their grief and urging Curley to reflect on his actions. Pinky, who had witnessed the tragic event firsthand, told reporters that no punishment could bring back her son, but she hoped Rodney would learn from his mistakes. The court proceedings also shed light on the brothers' relationship, with family members recalling how close they once were, despite their occasional disagreements. The Cleveland community was left mourning the loss of Timer, a young man known for his kindness and dedication to his family. His former workplace released a touching statement in his memory, highlighting the impact he had on students and staff alike.
Facts that the fact that this nigga got 23 years, bro. So this nigga be getting out 23 years, 2025. This nigga be getting out like in 2040, bro. 2040 something. 2043 at that. He'd be getting out in 2043. Yeah, I had enough of this.